My journey started many years ago. I came to this country as a student to go to FIT in 1978. And instead of going to school, I got a job with Halston to be his assistant. Because my family being in the business of embroideries in India, my father had a meeting with him and I happened to go along with him, and Halston just asked me that day if I would like to work for him, and I took on the job, and I was 19 years old. I grew up in it, so I learned it through osmosis. In India, there's no school you can go for embroideries or to learn color or whatever it was. When I was growing up, now you have many schools. So I learned just hanging around with my grandfather, going to the workshops. I still remember very clearly as a little boy playing under, in India they stretch saris on long stretchers to embroider, lying underneath that with men just putting on beads or embroidering and playing with little spools of threads. So, just the whole, I still remember those colors, lying under a shocking pink sari. I mean, those are the things that have taught me, just being there. And just through osmosis, learning through my father and my grandfather, out of conversation, visually, or just being present. My own design was only after I left Halston. And of course I remember, and I had designed all these dresses that I'd gone and opened a studio on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. And my first dress that I sold to, it was a cape that I sold to a lady who walked in, and I couldn't believe that she would pay me so much money for it. And I mean, that was my first dress that I ever sold. India is always on my mind. And I want to tell you that most of the thing I do is Indian. Even my colors, India influences me in almost everything I do. From either it be colonial India, or it could be the India of the Mughals, or India of the way back. I mean, the dances of India, to the colors of India, to when India was colonized and how different things were. So all those things, it's definitely part of my collection, but it's modern India. I design in New York. I have my team of my assistants, to my pattern makers, to my stylists, and we all work together. I design the collection. The fabrics come from either Europe, France, or Italy, or Japan, maybe, and then they're sent to India for embroidery after I've done the patterns. The way I choose my embroidery is, of course, I have a theme usually, like if I'm doing a Japanese-inspired collection, but it still has Indian embroidery, there's an Indian touch to it. Or if I'm doing, it could be whatever, but so you form you conceptualize it, and you draw it, and then you send it to India. And in India, then somebody goes from here, and we sit there, and the embroidery is done. The panels are brought back to New York, and they're sewn together in New York. So the product is actually made in America, even though it's Indian handmade, because it's cut and sewn in America. I wanted to design for the First Lady for a very long time. And this is since I was a kid, actually. I mean, I've been interested in fashion since I was a young boy. And they had actually approached me to do the inauguration dress, but we had a bit of a miscommunication and it didn't happen. The next opportunity that came along was the state dinner, first state dinner. I got a call from her stylist in Chicago, and they asked me to design the dress. And I had a certain limit of time to do it, and I designed them 4 pieces and I sent to them, and that's the one they picked. I basically got inspired from Andy Warhol's Poppies, and I sent it to India to do a traditional work, which is the tiki work from India, which is done in metal, sterling silver coated metal sequins, each hand individually stitched in many various sizes. And very simple, and I took a strapless body, simple, knowing Michelle Obama, that shape really worked so amazing on her, and I think she looked marvelous. It is a moment, I want to tell you, that it's once in a lifetime moment. I had actually no idea that she was going to wear it, because they don't tell you. And it could be some other designer for all you know. I was in Miami, out of my shower. Paul Wilmot had called me that morning saying Larry King wanted to have me on the panel. So I had said yes to it. Not any idea that she was going to wear it, but I had in my heart, I think she might, because I know how beautiful it was. I was coming out of my shower, my wife was in bed, watching television, and those state doors open, and out she walked in that golden dress. It was like opening of my life doors. I mean, amazing. And I just stood there, no reaction, and had no idea how the world would react. You know, you have once in a lifetime opportunity, and here this is. And things changed in such a big way. The press went crazy. The next whole day I spent in Miami with all the major networks, trucks parked downstairs in the building going crazy, like, who is this person in the building? Business changed because people became so aware of the name. I was the third most Googled person the next day. People Googling to find out who Naeem Khan is. And it just, you know, once your customer base gets aware, it's building a customer base, basically. People get aware of your brand. They want your product. People were going into the stores looking for my product. I would be walking in a mall, people coming and thanking me for making her look so beautiful, that they're so proud to have somebody look so amazing. The First Lady looks so amazing, and it's great for the country. So it just brought in a lot of recognition, and it's taking effect in my business, where I'm seeing bigger sales, I'm seeing more awareness to the brand, and hopefully we'll develop many other products because of that. Fall, it was over the top. How do we make it so that you make it very rock and roll? You combine motorcycle jackets with evening wear. You want to make it young and sexy. That was the whole idea. Lots of glamour, because fall is very glamorous. I mean, there are lots of parties, there are lots of events. So I wanted to be young, sexy, and also pieces that you could buy. You could buy a motorcycle jacket and mix it with just jeans. You could take a dress and hike it up and make it, you know, fun. So it was an idea of, because we're going through such a crazy recession, that I wanted to give my customers multiple wear so that they can buy things and break the things up, the look up into many different ways, and have multiple wear from it, but still be glamorous, which is my signature. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I walked out. Then I saw, what, everybody's standing for, like, you know, it was unbelievable, and but very exhilarating, because it sort of kind of gives you this little pat on the back saying that, you know, you've done a good job. And that meant so much to me, and I'm really touched by that majorly. And I hope I can keep on, I not hope, I am going to keep on making beautiful things. It's the love of fashion. It's the love of art and fashion. It's the love of seeing different things every season, because my job as a designer is to create newness every season. And every time I draw something or I conceptualize something in my head, which might come from lying in bed to walking the streets or in a restaurant, you pen it down, and you don't know what it's going to be like. That's so exciting, because, you know, it's all this, you know, the development of newness, the development of new fashion or development of new fabrics. It's so exciting. It really drives me major. And also to know that this is something which makes a great business for me and my family. That from all the way from here to India, I provide business and earning to maybe thousands of people. So if you take it from my family to the laborer who sits there and who beads the things, and his family, I mean, you're talking about 20, 30,000 people. But India is a very complicated market. I have to be in collaboration with, because you see, when you work in America, I have 150 or 200 stores that I sell to. I'm not used to selling 1, 2 things. I'm used to selling things in mass quantities. Mass for me is 400, 300, not thousands. But in India, I would be so excited to design a sari collection, but in collaboration with some big mill or some big, other manufacturers who can market it in India. Yes, I would love to do that. You know that I launched HSN. And that's my answer to a high volume retailer, because in an hour I can sell $1 million worth of clothes, while at a retailer it might take 3 months to sell the same amount of clothes. So with Home Shopping Network, which is such an incredible company and having that as a vehicle to launch my collection, I love that. But I'm also ready to do something with another big brand, with a big retailer. I've dressed so many people. I've dressed most of the big movie stars. I've dressed head of states. I've dressed socialites. But it's not one particular person, I would say. I'm building my brand more than I'm interested in dressing that one particular person.